Good morning. This is Scott Cullen, editor-in-chief of the Cannata Report. It's Fridays with Frank. I'm here with Frank Cannata. How you doing, Frank?
I'm doing great, Scott. How about yourself?
I'm all right. So today we're going to talk about if we had a time machine and we could go back in time to an event that we went to that made a strong impression on us or that was very memorable, what would that be? And I'm actually going to share first, and then I'm going to give you the last word. So I think my most memorable event was probably the late 80s. I'd been in the industry for 3 years or so, and Canon USA had an event at the Phoenician in Arizona. You probably were there. We probably never said a word to each other. You were so intimidating to me at the time, and I was a young guy, fearful of you and some of the older guys in the industry. But we're good now. We're good now. But I just remember that event. I remember meeting a Canon dealer, Russ Giacchetti from WJS Enterprises, on the bus in from the airport.
Right.
And he was, "Oh, I read you all the time." And that's something I've heard on many a bus trip in from the airport. Dealers complimenting me, or at least acknowledging that they read me, which is nice. And one of the reasons I remember it is so well is and it has nothing to do yet with what I was seeing at this event. First, they lost my luggage between the airport and the hotel. So I wasn't sure what I was going to be wearing that day. And then the other memorable part of it was, those were back in the days when we used to be able to do site events that were kind of more fun, and like this one was horseback riding, and I'd never gone horseback riding, and I wasn't sure what to expect. And then I remember having to fill out a waiver that if I got injured or died, no one would hold Canon responsible. And I thought, wow, might not be as much fun as I was thinking it was going to be, but it was a lot of fun. I remember the horse going really slow and then waiting for everybody to get ahead so I could get it to go really fast. But there were quite a few publications at the time there. I loved hanging out with my colleagues from some of the office trades that no longer exist. And I can't remember what products we saw there, but what I still have here, and I don't know if you could see it, is they gave us this picture, and everybody is so tiny in it. And it's like everybody who was at this Canon event back in, and I think Mr. Marasa is down there at the bottom. And this is at the Phoenician. And of course, it was like one of the most amazing hotels or resorts. And for someone who never went on vacation as a kid with the family, never went any place fancy, I definitely was not in Kansas anymore when I was at this event. And I knew that there was something about this industry that I think I want to stick around for a while, which I have. So that's my story. I wish I could remember what products Canon was showing and all, but I think I was having too much of a good time to pay that close attention to the business aspect. But Frank, you've been to many more than I have, and stretching back years before me, but what stands out for you?
Well, it's an interesting question at different eras, because I've been doing this for 4 decades. The one event that does stand out in my mind, because to me it represented one of the most significant accomplishments by a CEO of a company. That was Xerox in the days of Anne Mulcahy. When she became president, she inherited a horrendous mess, thanks to the previous CEO and his cohorts, who were found to have been playing with the books. Xerox was in very, very tough shape financially, and the prognostication was they're not going to get out of this. They were so deeply in debt. Well, I'll tell you, she got up there and she made one of the strongest presentations I've ever seen. I had seen her before, and I was always impressed with her. And she said, look, we're going to get out of this. And the way we're going to get out of this is on the backs of channels and color. And that was pretty much, the story. And I was a smart butt at that time, and I wrote in Livewire, not in my lifetime, because Xerox had always screwed up every effort they ever made to get into channels and do it successfully. I should have kept my ink dry or mouth shut, but I enjoyed the opportunity because, like, as you well know, you have the opportunity to talk to the staff, the other players, the leading executives, and there were a few there that I had a very strong relationship with. And and they were saying that meeting, preparing for that meeting was one of the toughest days of their lives and their career, because just before it, they had to terminate some people that had been working for them for years. One of the steps they had to take is they had to cut costs. They had to reduce the expenses, get the company to a more profitable level. Ursula Burns shared with me that they had hired this very, very well-known consulting company. And their advice to Xerox was, well, looking at the balance sheet here, if you get rid of R&D, you'll be profitable. Done. Ursula said, we paid these people to tell us that, and what are we going to be selling 4 or 5 years from now? So that event, for that reason, not only what Mulcahy said, but what Burns shared with me too, which I thought was great and very enlightening. So that sticks with me because she did it. She pulled Xerox out of the fire. Now, in my opinion, she never got the credit she deserved. No way. I've seen other executives in other industries and the way they're glorified for the things that they have done, and justifiably, I'm sure. I'm not saying they're warranted, but I've never seen anyone say this is some CEO that did an incredible job at a time when everybody had said this company ain't going to make it. So for that reason, and then of course in retrospect and seeing what happened after that, it was quite a meeting.